My next guest is a three-time NFL Defensive Player of the Year for the Houston Texans. He also does incredible work through his charity, the J.J. Watt Foundation. Here he is, J.J. Watt. Ah, come on. Look at
Thank you, my friend.
Wow, look at just surrounded by awards.
Yeah, they're all paper mache. I made them myself.
Oh my gosh, they look real.
Yeah, thank you.
The big NFL story from this past weekend, Tom Brady is going back to the Super Bowl. This time as quarterback of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This is 10th Super Bowl appearance. So to put this in context, you were 12 years old when Tom Brady played his first Super Bowl in 2002. We have a photo of what you looked like then. That was you when he was in his first.
Oh my God!
Look at that guy.
Yeah. No, that was back when my mom would put a bowl on my head to cut my hair. That's how we did it. So I don't know if anybody does that anymore, but that was the thing we did.
That was the way to do it. A bowl haircut, absolutely.
Yeah, but Tom's unbelievable. I mean, it's incredible what he's done. It's. I don't think people truly understand or appreciate or can fathom how insanely difficult it is. And the guy's he is the greatest of all time.
I mean, you've gone up against Brady a bunch of times. In fact, we have a photo of one of the hits that you put on him. Look at this. Look at the zoom in at Brady's face. Can we get a close-up? He's like, oh, my. This is going to hurt when I go down.
I'll sign that one and send it to him, and I'll make sure that he has that. He can hang that on his locker right before he goes and plays in the Super Bowl. So,
well, this season obviously didn't go as you hoped it would. The Texans finished 4-12, and there was a post-game press conference. The only reason I'm bringing this up, JJ, is because there's a press conference that went viral a few weeks ago where you talked about how you were feeling. We have a clip. Let's just take a look at this.
This is a job. We are getting paid a whole lot of money. There are a lot of people that watch us and invest their time and their money into buying our jerseys and buying a whole bunch of So if you can't go out there and you can't work out, you can't show up on time, you can't practice, you can't want to go out there and win, you shouldn't be here. There are people every week that still tweet you, that still come up to you and say, hey, we're still rooting for you, we're still behind you. They have no reason whatsoever to. We stink. That's who I feel the most bad for, is our fans.
Was that therapeutic?
A little bit. You know, it was anytime an athlete is asked, you know, how do you get motivated even though your team is out of the playoffs, or how do you still go out there and give it everything you have? It always frustrates me because how can you not? Like I'll never understand that. You know, I was a fan. I grew up in Wisconsin, where obviously you watch the Green Bay Packers, and win, lose, or draw, you were wearing that jersey and you were watching the game. And I've never understood the fact that we're athletes getting paid an immense amount of money to play a child's game. And there's people all over that support us and pour their energy in. And I'll never understand how you could possibly not give everything you got.
There's a lot up in the air about where the Texans go from here. There are reports that your quarterback, Deshaun Watson, has requested a trade. There's also speculation that I heard that you could be traded. How do you process that kind of chatter and those rumors, and do you pay attention?
I process it by going to Hawaii for a week, and I probably should have stayed there. I probably should have stayed. It was great.
Everyone's
some, lava flows.
The word doesn't get to Hawaii?
No. We the word in Hawaii was Manapua, and we were enjoying Mai Tais by the pool. So that was a good way for me to cope with it, and I might just head back there.
Your two brothers play for the Steelers. We've had them on the show. And there are reports that the Steelers are interested in trading for you. If that were the case, and there's 3 Watts on one team, has that ever happened, like even back when you were on the Pirates or even back in Pee Wee football?
No. Derek and TJ have played together in high school, college, and the NFL, which is unbelievable. But we never all played on the same team together. I'm not even sure if it's physically possible just from a bantering standpoint. Like somebody would like hide somebody's shoes. It's just like childhood games.
Brothers.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Not that we do that, Jimmy. I mean,
No. I had all 3 of you on the show. We talked about it. I could see exactly how much fun you had, man. Hey, I want to talk about the J.J. Watt Foundation because this thing is fantastic. And you started this back when you were in college. Can you talk about what the foundation does and what inspired you to start it?
Yeah, we started back when I was in college. I appreciate you bringing it up. We started when I was in college. I was inspired by Myron Rolle, who was at Florida State and had his own foundation while he was playing college football. I thought that was incredible, and it inspired me to start my own. And one day I was volunteering at a school, and the teacher was telling me a story about how a child robbed his neighbor with a screwdriver after school. And I said, well, doesn't he have anybody at home watching him? And she said, he gets home at 3 and his mom doesn't get home till 5. And I said, well, don't you guys have sports or anything after school you can do? And they said, budget cuts haven't allowed us to have any sports after school. And I just personally took that as no child should ever suffer because adults can't afford it. You know, us as adults, we have to try and figure it all out. But kids have no control. They shouldn't be suffering and lacking opportunities just because we can't give them to them. And so that's why I started my foundation. We've done work in, I believe it's over 33 states in the country now we've donated to, and there's schools and everything. And it's been awesome, and it's been we have unbelievable fans and volunteers who help us out.
It's so cool that you do that and that you give back and make people happy. Congrats on that. I always like to bring that up because it's really cool that you do that.
I appreciate it.
JJ Watt, everybody. For more information on JJ's charity, check out jjwfoundation.org.
I appreciate you, my friend. Thank you. Have a good
week. We're going to see it.
On and on and on. I said, and it's on.